We need more people in this world to feel ashamed of their actions.
Shame is the most useless tool in the history of tools. Shame is a feeling you get when you feel inadequate.
Maybe because I'm skinny and not a perpetual victim of my own bad life choices.
This girl is not in this video playing a victim at any level. What she's doing is she's highlighting the anxiety. Why does everybody think we're victims? Well, if they could snap their fingers and be thin tomorrow, they would.
Shouldn't we all fear obesity?
I don't and never have understood intolerance or hate. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Big Man, Big Problems podcast. My name is Julio, and I'm your host. And then you could see that the lovely Alyssa from Belladonna is with me once again. And we're going to do something kind of fun today because we really enjoyed last time you were here talking about comments that people have made on my past post. So what we thought we would do today is something more interesting. We would watch a video that has something to do with either body positivity or being a big person. And then instead of commenting on the video, what we're going to do is we're going to comment on the comments. Now, I will tell you that Alyssa is 100% setting me up for this, okay? I have no idea what she's going to show me. I have no idea what the comments are, so we're going to get what would be known as a live reaction. And hopefully I don't get either too upset, too angry, or too giggly. So
That's
Alyssa.
my goal. Okay.
All right. So let's see what we're going to see. Let's read some comments and let's see what we end up with.
We're reading the comments. Okay, here we go. So here's my first one.
Raise your kids. You use fear and shame to raise them?
Does it seem like I use fear and shame to raise them?
Yeah, because you talk about using fear and shame.
I don't talk about, first of all, that is a life or death intervention on a ticking clock.
But
Biggest
do you
loser.
look at
That's
me and
not
see a life or
parenthood.
death need for an intervention right now? Be honest.
Yeah, I do. At one point or another, very often victims. However, how we choose to respond to that injury, okay, at one time absolutely meant your psychological survival. It is how you survived that injury. The problem is it perpetuates and it no longer serves. But if we continue to repeat the pattern, it's actually called, has a name, it's called a repetition compulsion. And the goal, right, is I will master this. I will play this out. It's safer to play it out externally than where those feelings really belong, because that's painful. Can I give you an example? I'm a shitty parent. We talked about this, but just follow me, right? I'm a shitty parent. I'm not there for you. Okay, instead of you saying, oh my God, my mom was never available, I didn't get what I needed, we then internalize that and go, it must be because I'm not good enough. Hence the sinner part, okay? Not because mommy is unavailable due to her own limitations. Instead, it gets internalized, and that is what becomes toxic shame.
You ambushed me with a Jillian Michaels video. You're talking to somebody who's had these conversations face to face with Jillian Michaels, as you know. And it took me years before I can just walk by a picture of her without actually doing a little shudder, you know?
So one of the comments was, we need more people in this world to feel ashamed of their actions. Shame can be a useful tool towards self-improvement.
I would pay to have a psychologist or a therapist come in and say shame is a useful tool. See, now that's a person who was literally treated with shame growing up and told, like, they literally make fun of that in movies, right? Right. I mean, here, do you remember the Twisted Sister video? We're not going to take it from the 80s.
Yes.
Right. When the father came in and was shaming the son because he was some loser in his room listening to Twisted Sister.
Yes.
And then Twisted Sister jumped out of the wall saying, we're not going to take it.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's exactly what that is. Shame is the most useless tool in the history of tools. Shame is a feeling you get when you feel inadequate. Right. How do you make yourself adequate? It's a feeling that you have. And it's people who give you shame are the ones who make you feel inadequate, which is horrible. So this is a perfect example in this video of how somebody is just trying to tell their story and really just wants to get it off their chest. In watching this video with her, not just that comment, I've noticed that everyone that she spoke to really just wanted her to acknowledge that whatever was going on with them was not their fault, and they're just okay with it, and they want her to be okay with it. And if they don't know Jillian's just never going to be okay with you being overweight. She's never going to agree that what you have is beyond your control. So it was a losing battle, right? And realistically, most of these people, if they could snap their fingers and be thin tomorrow, they would. But unfortunately, it's just not that easy.
Next one is, this is classic narcissistic manipulation in real time. Why doesn't she just say, this is why my abusive behavior is justified?
That's on the same video. And the narcissist in this is Jillian.
That's how I read it.
So there has been in the history of Jillian Michaels a lot of comments exactly like this. She can be very direct, very angry. She has no, as the saying goes, F's to give when it comes to somebody who is justifying why they are who they are. Because as far as narcissistic, does she think the world revolves around her? She does, but will 100% never admit it. I guess that's the definition, right? She seems to think that it is all about, like, the reason she is who she is because of what you just said to her. And that if you try to project any of your feelings to her, she'll slap you right back with it. How do I know? Because she's done it to me. Okay. I've seen her do it. And I actually at one point apologized. And to this day, I feel like kind of an ass for doing it because I don't feel like that's it. There was an email I sent, and this was after the NIH study, where I said, what you need to understand is this. And her response was, I don't need to understand anything. And I don't necessarily know where that comes from, but if you watch her, if you've seen her reality show that she was on, if you see her in this video and you read this commenter is dead on. She justifies who she is because of the things that happened to her. I'm sorry, Jillian. I do like her as a person, you know, and if she wanted to sit in front of me and have this conversation, I would do so happily.
Okay, let's do the next video.
Oh my God, there's fat girls who are still scared to go to the doctor. Oh my God, there's fat girls who still need to take their emotional support water bottle to help them get through the doctor. Oh my God, there's fat girls who have to wear their Taylor Swift Crocs to be brave to go to the doctor. Not a fat girl having a little snacky snack before the doctor because even though she has a restrictive eating disorder and even though most doctors will tell her she has to lose weight, food is important and everybody needs to eat food. Not a fat girl getting to the doctor's office 20 minutes early because she has anxiety. I did it. It was hard.
Okay.
Why do I love that so much?
Good. One of the comments is, I don't get it. Maybe because I'm skinny and not a perpetual victim of my own bad life choices.
Oh, yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. So I actually have done podcasts on the doctor, right? In fact, the first podcast I ever did, I spoke about going to the doctor. And I actually just said the doctor as many times as I think that lady did in the video. And going to the doctor as a big person is a harrowing experience. It takes some nerve. It takes some thick skin because the doctor is only and always going to steer you in one direction. And I'll be even more blunt. When you get to be my age, your doctors are your age, and they really cut out a lot of the frivolous things they have to do and just go directly to it. Yes, because you're thin, you don't get it. I'll just be frank. This girl is not in this video playing a victim at any level. What she's doing is she's highlighting the anxiety of going to the doctor when you are who she is. That's what she's doing. I didn't see anywhere in that video where she was playing a victim. In fact, what she was doing was making fun of herself, right? To get her past the whole thing, right? I get it 100%. And it's a little bit awesome. But now we have a skinny girl who literally just shamed the person who did it. But God bless her, she watched the video, and that was the point, right? Yeah, so that's great. That's great.
Okay, the next.
The victim. Why does everybody think we're victims? I mean, I think some people do feel like victims of different things. I mean, we don't know everybody's story, right? Some people may have had issues as kids. Maybe they were abused. Maybe they saw things they weren't supposed to see. Maybe they were exposed to things. People can be victims, right? How we deal with those as an adults is our decision, but people certainly can be victims. We certainly don't want to make fun of those people online, right? Look at a mirror, okay? It's yeah, okay, let's move on.
Okay, next one. Restrictive eating disorder, ... These people need to be ashamed that they can just make jokes about restrictive eating disorders to try and justify their horrible lifestyles. Shaking my head, Tess Holliday is responsible for this utter nonsense. I don't know who Tess Holliday is.
Tess Holliday is, if I'm correct, a plus-sized model / influencer, right? She's a big gal that'll put on a bikini and strut in front of the camera. Okay.
Yes, I see her.
There tends to be, oh, she has beautiful red hair. There
beautiful.
Tends to be, all right, let me tell you what I think. I think the people who are online watching that, making comments like that, are jealous. They're jealous AF. Okay, everyone knows what AF is. I don't have to explain that, right? Everyone gets it?
Yeah.
They're jealous AF that this person has enough confidence. See the bikini? Has enough confidence, has enough wit, has enough intelligence to be able to piece that video together to show the anxiety of being that person in a clever, interesting, and funny way. That got them through that experience, and hopefully by proxy gets other people through that experience, because as someone who lives that, I look at that and it makes sense to me. This other person doesn't see that. They just see a girl who's overweight. And what a great way to give her a shot and tell her she should be ashamed of herself. And all these other people, by the way, who are heavy and on camera, they should be ashamed of themselves, because this is your fault. And I'm not like this because my mother beat me as a child, because that's obviously what happened to this poor guy.
Oh yeah.
You know what gets me through a lot of these things? Was actually my experience in the TV show, because that happened really before the grand emergence of social media. And they told us actively, don't read comments online. Because for all you know, it's a 38-year-old guy sitting in his mother's basement in his underwear eating Red Hots. And whenever I hear a comment like that, I think it's a 38-year-old guy in his tighty whities in his mother's basement eating a box of Red Hots with like the juice stains dripping down his Dago tea.
Well, you're going to love this
cross
one.
that out. I can't say that. That's politically incorrect. Wife beater.
Yeah, right. Like, is that better? Well, you're going to love this one.
Ribbed tank top with a small tear in it.
You're going to love this one because this person's handle has Child of God in it.
Come on.
I swear.
Literally?
Literally.
Does he have like those, what are those dashes, but they're like low?
Yes.
An underscore?
Yes.
Okay.
I hope her
I don't
doctor.
have my glasses on, so I can't see it.
Perfect. I hope her doctor is okay after the tragic earthquake she caused by stepping foot on the doctor's office.
Mm-hmm.
From Child of God.
Why do I start every one of these with a giggle? I feel
It's
is that
in- 'cause
inappropriate?
It's ludicrous.
Is that inappropriate? Like somebody sat there. Now here's the part I love about this is that did this guy actually just write this after he saw it, or did he sit there for 20 minutes constructing that sentence to be absolutely hilarious to anybody else who watches it, right?
Mhm.
An earthquake, okay?
Mhm.
But you know what she's doing? Leaving the house.
Mhm.
Did this guy leave the house? Did this guy see his doctor? Right?
Mhm.
Earthquake. Why watch the video, man?
Mhm. You can just keep scrolling.
And by the way, what she was doing was a path to healthy. Why wouldn't somebody like this go, good for her?
Mm-hmm.
She got up. She went to the doctor. She knows it's not going to be easy. She knows what she's about to get into, but she did it anyway. I don't and never have understood intolerance or hate. It's not something that I struggle to comprehend why anybody hates anything. If you're going to hate something, hate a hater
Mm-hmm.
because they're projecting hate. So they're the ones that are supposed to get hate.
Mm-hmm.
And why people do hate is shocking. You know, that whole Jubilee video that Julian was on, I actually went through a bunch of those comments and stopped because I didn't come across a single positive one. And I thought that was the most ridiculous thing ever. Like, why?
I will say, when I was looking through the comments and reading, I found this kind of interesting, but the long video, the long form, the comments were terrible. Like they were just bad.
Yeah.
But all the shorts that were compiled from that, it was a lot more positive and actually more directed towards her. So I found that kind of interesting, and maybe
there is an
that was on
army out there.
purpose.
There's an army.
Mhm.
There's an army of us.
For sure.
Or me.
Okay. Now these ones.
If you're new here, hey, my name's Meg. I'm a New York City-based actress, educator, motivational speaker, and I went through a pretty dramatic weight loss. And now I talk about it on TikTok. In order to identify fatphobic behavior, we need to define it. By definition, fatphobic behavior is the aversion or the irrational fear of obesity or obese people. When it comes to the topic of obesity, all I care about is that people are physically happy and healthy. I am not a doctor. We are not here to judge people on what they physically look like. Unless you are their doctor, you cannot comment on their body or their health. Thank you. When I was a size 18, people treated me very differently. So let's talk about some of my favorite examples of fatphobia. Is the trope we see a lot in like teen rom-coms where the fat, unpopular girl suddenly scores the star quarterback or the really athletic skinny boy. Typically in those plot lines, at some point in the story, that character is made fun of, shamed, or told how they look is bad, wrong, or disinteresting to other people. By putting this plot line into movies, we're making it seem abnormal for a larger person to date a smaller person. Can't people just date whomever they're attracted to? Another example of fatphobic behavior I heard a lot when I was bigger. Whenever I went to the doctor, they always told me, well, maybe you don't feel well because you're overweight. Right, my weight's the problem, not my underlying medical conditions that didn't get addressed until I lost the weight and the doctors took me seriously. But I think the biggest example of fatphobia is this idea that larger people are lazy and don't take care of themselves. I know both large and skinny people who do not take care of themselves, who don't live a healthy lifestyle. And yet a majority of harassment using this argument is towards fat people. And if you don't believe me, scroll through the comment section of a larger creator's content, and you'll see just how many of those comments are rooted in hatred and fatphobia.
So body acceptance, that's a new one.
I already see a comment. Okay. Shouldn't we all fear obesity? Have you ever watched historical videos? Obesity is a new phenomenon. We should all fear and shun obesity.
Okay. So typically I react in some way. Okay. For some reason, that comment literally just stopped me dead. I was speechless for a moment. Okay. So he's saying there was never fat people in history. Is that the comment he just made?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, wow. And it's a new phenomenon. You know, there is a part that is not wrong. Is weight a bigger problem now than it has been historically? 100% it has,
Mm-hmm.
right? With urban areas becoming greater, which means less people living in rural communities where they have to run farm. I mean, whatever it is they do, work the land, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has food gotten 100% worse in the last 50 years? Yeah. When they came up with the new food pyramid, it hurt a lot of people. When they decided not to outlaw sugar in the 50s, right? All of
Mm-hmm.
a sudden we had an epidemic of diabetes. In the 70s, when all of a sudden they started telling everybody that fat was the problem and fat's not your friend and everything went fat free. Well, guess what fat added to food? Flavor. And how do they put the flavor back? Sugar. Because fat free never meant sugar free, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, have things gotten worse? 100% they've gotten worse. But you know what's made them worse lately? Social media. Because somebody can go online and say, listen, I live both lives. Okay. I've been a big person, I've been a small person. And she's not one of these where there's a lot of people who I lost all the weight saying, I lost the weight, you can do it too. All you got to
Mm-hmm.
do is put your mind to it and eat right and exercise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? I lost the weight too, twice. But now I'm 57 years old with, quite frankly, a glucose, not a glucose problem, but what's the other thing? What do they give you for insulin? With an insulin, with an insulin problem, and I'm struggling to lose weight. Not only because of that, because of my age, and my God, I've been through it a couple of times. My metabolism's struggling as well. So I'm not out there. She's not out there saying, I can do it, you can do it. She's out there saying, hey, have some respect for people.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they're big or small, respect them as people. And everything she's talked about in that video, I have talked about in my podcast about
Mm-hmm.
going to the doctor, about them avoiding your situation because of your size. You know, I have this massive neurofibroma on my spine. And I can tell you 2 years ago, a doctor sent me out of his office without an examination because of my weight. So do I get it? Yeah. So someone to come out there and have that level of disrespect to a person who's literally just saying respect to everybody is absolutely ridiculous. And that's the negative side of social media, right? Because this is just a nameless, faceless person who
Mm-hmm.
doesn't care. You don't even know if he actually means it. He just thought it'd be funny, not seeing how it's hurtful.
This next one is
Next comment on the
next
same
comment.
video.
Mm-hmm. I've gained weight, trauma, COVID, etc. I went from a 2'4" to now a 10'12", and people treat me so much different. Totally sucks.
You know, I'm curious as to how they treat her different because what they're really doing is they're feeling sorry for her.
Mm.
Like, oh, look at her. She used to be so fit. Now she's not, but she's the same person. That person is okay. Why? Okay. Can it be trauma? She did use the word trauma, did she not?
Yeah, she
Right. She didn't mention what trauma,
did. Mm-mm.
right? She mentioned COVID. COVID hit a lot of people pretty hard, but trauma is a factor. What happens when you have a trauma? You look for a way to soothe yourself. Some people do it, unfortunately, with drugs and alcohol. Some people do it by inflicting self harm. Some people just find comfort in food. And a lot of people who are heavier just, quite frankly, find comfort in food. The only difficulty is you have to keep doing it to survive. There's no way to stop it completely. So you have to learn how to manage the thing that brings you the most comfort. And it's difficult. And when you have people who are coming at you and they look at you with these sorry eyes, what happened? You used to be so beautiful. You used to be so thin. Well, it's like, what the hell am I now? You know, I've said in previous podcasts, the reason I am who I am, the reason my personality is what it is, the reason I've gotten good at things I've gotten good at is to really overcome those looks and those eyes and those people looking at you like, oh, you poor thing, right? I walk into a room and I make everybody wish they were me. That's how I attack stuff like that. Yeah, that's tough. New video?
New video.
Okay. Oh,
Things that just make sense when you are a fatphobic doctor. We're fatphobic doctors. When patients ask us for help with weight loss, we tell them to eat less and move more. We're fatphobic doctors. When patients come in with an ear infection, the first thing, the most important thing to bring up is their weight. We're fatphobic doctors. When a patient comes in and wants to discuss their weight, we make sure to tell them that it is their fault. Genetics, medications, health conditions, socioeconomic status, none of these things have anything to do with obesity. We're fatphobic doctors. When a patient comes in and says that they've been trying to lose weight, but that calorie counting and exercising has not worked for them, we tell them that they must be lying. We're fatphobic doctors. When a patient comes in with an asthma exacerbation and they can't breathe, that's generally a good time to bring up their weight. We're fatphobic doctors. We believe that when we are shaming patients, that we are doing it for their own good because it is inspiring change.
Any thoughts on the
I
video?
want to talk about it.
Okay,
I am, listen, I need to say something.
yeah.
So I am in a way blessed. Okay. Now, I don't sit back and allow those things to happen to me anymore. I have numerous doctors in my life now, all of them excellent doctors. Okay. And as you well know, I did a podcast on doctors not long ago, and I forwarded the link to my GP, right, to our family doctor. And he watched it and he enjoyed it. I did call him out as a good doctor on there because he has been a very good doctor. He does not talk to me that way. He doesn't ever talk down to me. He did, although, want me to see a doctor for the missing finger on my logo.
Fair.
I have another doctor. That one killed Jenny. I do have another doctor. I do see a weight loss doctor. Okay. And this weight loss doctor actually was heavy himself for a long time as a doctor. So he goes out of his way to be very kind as a doctor. So as much as I understand and have experienced every single thing that this person is saying in this video, that doesn't currently happen to me because I, quite frankly, don't allow it. Okay. The reason I'm doing this podcast is because of situations like this, and I don't allow it anymore. Anyway, that being said, what's the comment?
Okay. Okay. So I'm going to start with this one. Honestly, there needs to be more accountability for the malpractice that results from biases like this.
I agree. Although, how do you do that?
We need a personal injury attorney.
But how do you do that? How do you really, what are you going to do? You're going to go in front of a judge and say, Your Honor, he said I was fat. So that means that I don't want to be skinny and he doesn't want to treat me because I'm fat. I would love to take the doctor with this neurofibroma who looked at me and said, the problem with your neurofibroma is you don't fit on the table that we use to do back surgery.
Mhm.
And I looked at him with a blank stare and an open jaw, like, dude, this is 2025. You're trying to tell me that you can't figure out how to put me on a table?
Mhm.
It just seems so ridiculous to me at
Yeah.
the time, when in reality, he just didn't want to do it. Because in his eyes, what I saw is a guy who's like, you have a problem. I don't really want to be responsible for any of the issues if something happens, because there's things that can happen that are my fault and I'd like to step away from it, you know?
Yeah.
So do I understand that? Yes. Is there a way to do some sort of malpractice? There's not, right? How do you prove somebody didn't want to treat you because of your color of your skin, or because your sexual orientation, or because of your religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference is they're choosing to blame the medical issues on our size. And this whole doctor thing, every single one of those things I've experienced, every one of them. I mean, without fail. You know what the most humiliating thing is to go to the doctor? With the exception, by the way, of the current weight loss doctor. They don't have a blood pressure cuff that'll fit you.
Mm.
I don't even know how I feel about that. I've gone in the doctor's office and they didn't have a scale that could weigh me. And then they look at me and go, well, how much do you think you weigh? I said, listen, my driver's license has said 220 for the last 35 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it is ultimately amazing to me. Two things. Number one, applause for all of these people who are making content that's bringing light to the hypocrisy when it comes to fat phobia, or even body positivity, right? And to all those people who feel that it's their job to tell us how ridiculous we are for being fat and at some level content or happy, or don't have as much issue with it, or we don't feel ashamed of ourselves. So this is great. So this is something that we have to do more often.
Oh, I totally
We
agree.
have to not only highlight these folks' video, but let's highlight the morons that decide they want to go on there
Yeah.
and act as if these people should be flat out just ashamed of themselves. And you know what? Let's use that shame to fuel us to a better health, happier us, right? So,
Right.
hey, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed the reaction. We're going to do more. We should really do this like once a month,
I
right?
love it.
Like
Yes.
every 4 weeks, let's do this.
Yeah.
Because I think I need sometimes to like let some of the anger out. Right?
Love it.
And if I'm going to do it, let's do the same thing these folks are doing. They're nameless, faceless. The difference is my face is on here. Okay. So you could just attack me directly. I can take it. Okay. So, hey, pause, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Watch my next podcast. I hope you enjoyed this one, and thank you for listening.
Thank you.